Number 1. Temple Guard. The Grand Inquisitor wasn't always hunting Jedi. He used to protect them. This male Padawan served as one of the elite Jedi Temple Guards, those mysterious warriors in golden helmets who defended the Jedi Order's most sacred places. Picture this. While younglings trained in the halls above, he stood vigil, lightsaber pike in hand, sworn to protect the Order with his life. But the bombing of the Coruscant Jedi Temple changed everything. When the Jedi Council mishandled the case of Barriss Offee and wrongfully accused Ahsoka Tano, something inside him shattered. The very institution he'd sworn to protect had failed one of its own. His disillusionment with the Jedi Order grew until he became susceptible to the dark side. When Order 66 came, he didn't resist. He joined the 501st Legion and killed his own friends. The Defender became the Destroyer. As the Grand Inquisitor, he'd lead the Empire's Jedi hunters with ruthless efficiency, using his intimate knowledge of Jedi tactics against his former brothers and sisters. His fall from grace proves that sometimes the greatest threats come from within. Number 2. Trilla Suduri. Trilla Suduri's story is perhaps the most heartbreaking of all the Inquisitors. She was Padawan to Jedi Master Siri Junda, and together they survived the initial chaos of Order 66. They went into hiding, just 2 more Jedi trying to stay alive in a galaxy that suddenly wanted them dead. But the Empire found Siri first. Under torture, she broke and revealed Trilla's location. Can you imagine the betrayal? Your own master, the person who swore to protect and guide you, giving you up to save themselves. When the Empire captured Trilla and subjected her to the same torture, that betrayal festered into hatred. She fell to the dark side and became the second sister, one of the first Inquisitors. Throughout Jedi Fallen Order, she hunts Cal Kestis with calculated precision, always one step ahead. But in her final moments, when Siri apologizes, we see a glimpse of the Padawan she once was, right before Vader executes her for her failure. The second sister reminds us that the dark side doesn't just corrupt, it exploits our deepest wounds. Number 3. Masana Tide. Before she became the hulking ninth sister, Masana Tide was a Jedi Knight with an extraordinary gift. She could read people with uncanny accuracy. As a Doubtan, she already possessed incredible physical strength, but her true power lay in her empathic abilities. She could sense emotions, predict reactions, understand motivations, skills that made her invaluable to the Jedi Order. Like Trilla, Masana was captured and tortured by the Empire until she broke. But something else broke inside her too. The torture left her with a frightening callousness to pain, and even dismemberment. She lost an eye to Darth Vader during training, and a leg to the Sixth Brother's betrayal. Each injury seemed to make her more dangerous, not less. Her empathic powers, once used to help and heal, became weapons of psychological warfare. She could sense fear and amplify it, detect weakness, and exploit it. The ninth sister survived her encounter with Cal Kestis on Kashyyyk, proving that sometimes the most dangerous fallen Jedi are those who embrace their transformation completely. Ready to dive deeper into the dark side? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because the Empire's secrets are just beginning to unfold. Number 4. Tualon Yaluna. Tualon Yaluna's fall to the dark side is a cautionary tale about the power of betrayal and the weakness of love. During his time as a Jedi, he worked closely with fellow Knight Iskat Akaris on numerous missions. They made an effective team, their skills complementing each other perfectly in the field. But when Order 66 came, Iskat made her choice first. She willingly joined Darth Sidious and the dark side, betraying Tualon in the process. That betrayal cut deeper than any lightsaber could. The Empire used his hatred and sense of betrayal to break him, turning him into an Inquisitor. Here's where it gets tragically ironic. Once they both became Inquisitors, Toualon and Iskat fell in love. The very circumstances that drove them apart ultimately brought them together in darkness. But Vader saw their love as weakness and hunted them both down, executing them together. Even in the Empire, it seems, there's no room for the heart. Number 5. Iskat Akaris. The 13th sister, Iskat Akaris, represents a different kind of fall, not through torture or betrayal, but through frustration and ambition. During the Clone Wars, she chafed against the Jedi Council's decisions, particularly being kept on youngling training duties instead of fighting on the front lines. Her anger, frustration, and jealousy grew with each passing day. She believed in her abilities, perhaps too much, and saw the Council's caution as an insult. When Order 66 provided an opportunity, she willingly joined the Inquisitorius. No torture needed, just the promise of the power and recognition she felt she deserved. Those who joined willingly, like Iskat and the Grand Inquisitor, felt like themselves completely in their new roles. But her willingness to betray Tualon, and later her death at Vader's hands alongside him, proves that the dark side's promises are always hollow. The power she sought became the chain that bound her to destruction. Number 6. Bill Valon. The sixth brother, Bill Valon, embodies the brutal reality of Inquisitor training. During his conversion from Jedi to Inquisitor, he lost an arm while training with Vader himself. This wasn't an accident. It was a lesson. Vader's training methods were designed to break both body and spirit, forging weapons from the wreckage of former Jedi. Unlike some Inquisitors who retained traces of their former selves, the sixth brother fully embraced his new identity. He became known for his ruthlessness and his willingness to betray fellow Inquisitors. Remember, he's the one who took the ninth sister's leg, but his cruelty couldn't save him. He met his end at the hands of Ahsoka Tano, proving that all the dark side training in the galaxy can't match the power of a true warrior of the light. Number 7. Procet Dibs. The 10th brother's story begins even before Order 66. As Jedi Master Procet Dibs, he had already attempted to kill Mace Windu, a shocking betrayal within the Order itself. His reasons remain murky, but the attempt marked him as different from other Jedi, someone already walking the edge between light and dark. He had already fallen in his attempt to kill Mace Windu before the Jedi Order fell. When the Empire rose, Procet didn't need to be broken or tortured. He was already there, waiting. His transformation into the 10th brother was less a fall and more a revelation of what he'd always been. Sometimes the dark side doesn't corrupt from without. Sometimes it merely awakens what was always within. Want more deep dives into Star Wars' darkest corners? Make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment about which fallen Jedi story hit you the hardest. Number 8. Taran Malicos. Not all fallen Jedi became Inquisitors. Taran Malicos represents a different path to darkness. A Jedi general during the Clone Wars, he escaped Order 66 only to crash land on Dathomir with no means of escape. Imagine being trapped on a planet steeped in dark side energy, surrounded by the whispers of ancient evils. Years on, Dathomir slowly corrupted him, and he became disillusioned with the Jedi. Without the structure of torture or imperial conditioning, Malicos fell to the dark side through isolation and despair. He tried to rule over the Night Brothers, convinced that the Jedi had been weak and that true power came from embracing the darkness of Dathomir. His story shows us that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one we become when left alone with our doubts. Number 9. Barriss Offee. Barriss Offee was a Mirialan Padawan under Master Luminara Unduli, and together they specialized in tandem lightsaber combat. She was everything a Jedi should be. Skilled, dedicated, compassionate, but the Clone Wars changed her, as they changed so many others. Her story connects directly to the Grand Inquisitor's fall. She was the one who bombed the Jedi Temple. Barriss had come to believe that the Jedi had lost their way, becoming soldiers instead of peacekeepers. Her fall wasn't sudden but gradual, each battle and each compromise pushing her further from the light. When she framed Ahsoka Tano for her crimes, she crossed a line from which there was no return. Barriss reminds us that sometimes the most dangerous falls come wrapped in good intentions. Number 10. Reva Sevander. The third sister's origin story is perhaps the most tragic of all. Reva Sevander was just a youngling when Order 66 was executed. Picture a child, barely old enough to hold a lightsaber, watching as clone troopers storm the temple, watching as Anakin Skywalker, the hero with no fear, cuts down everyone she knows. After being picked up by the Empire, she made it her mission to quickly rise through the ranks, aiming to eventually become the Grand Inquisitor. But here's the twist. Unlike other Inquisitors who served the Empire faithfully, Reva had her own agenda. She wanted to get close enough to Vader to take her revenge for what he did to her fellow younglings. Her fall to the dark side was calculated, a means to an end, which makes it all the more tragic. She became the very thing she hated in pursuit of justice. Number 11. Ethoth. Ethoth's story stands apart from other fallen Jedi because he didn't become an Inquisitor. He simply gave up on the Jedi entirely. A long-serving member of the Jedi High Council, this Iridonian Zabrak survived the Second Battle of Geonosis and endured capture and torture by General Grievous during the Clone Wars. Though rescued by Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Adi Gallia, the experience left its mark. Shortly before Order 66, Koth was kicked off the Jedi Council and replaced by Aegon Kolar. He left the Order completely, becoming a priest in the Church of the Ganthic Enlightenment and marrying a Zabrak named Mira. When Vader and his Inquisitors came for him after his child's birth, Koth tried to bargain for his family's safety. "They kicked me off the council, you know. I have no loyalty to the Jedi," he told Vader, even offering secret contact frequencies of surviving Jedi. But Vader sensed something else in Koth: fear, anger, resentment. These emotions fueled Koth's fighting when negotiations failed. Though he fought well using his emotions, Vader distracted him by having the Inquisitors present his captured child. In that moment of distraction, Vader struck him down. Koth's story reveals that leaving the Order doesn't guarantee escape from its consequences, and that the dark side can claim even those who think they've walked away. Number 12. Anakin Skywalker. The greatest fall of all belongs to Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one who became Darth Vader. Discovered as a slave boy on Tatooine by Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin was prophesied to bring balance to the Force. Despite the Council's reservations about his age and attachments, he was trained as a Jedi, and became one of the Order's most celebrated heroes during the Clone Wars. He was the poster child of the Republic, the hero with no fear who killed Count Dooku and saved countless lives. But beneath the heroism lay deep wounds. The death of his mother in his arms planted seeds of anger and hatred. Visions of his secret wife Padme dying in childbirth drove him to desperation. The Jedi Council's lack of trust, exemplified when they asked him to spy on Chancellor Palpatine, pushed him further from the light. When Palpatine revealed himself as Darth Sidious and promised the power to save Padme, Anakin made his choice. After pledging himself to the Sith, Anakin led the 501st Legion into the Jedi Temple, killing younglings and masters alike. He hunted survivors across the galaxy, trained the Inquisitors in the ways of darkness, and became the Empire's most feared enforcer. Unlike the Inquisitors who served him, Anakin was a true Sith Lord, apprentice to Darth Sidious, heir to millennia of Sith tradition. His fall from the brightest light to the deepest darkness remains the most tragic transformation in galactic history. Where the Inquisitors were tools, Vader was the weapon that nearly destroyed the Jedi forever. May the Force be with your subscribe finger. If this galactic history lesson helped you understand Star Wars better than a Jedi mind trick, join our Rebel base by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Remember, your focus determines your reality, so focus on that subscribe button. Until next time, remember, there's always a bigger faction,